be watching the mail for a sticker of a smallmouth bass, because last week my buddy Jeff took me on a creek fishing outing, and I was able to get a qualifying smallmouth bass for the Georgia Bass Slam. He and I had fished together a couple months ago out in my direction. We went and fished for Bartram's bass, and were able to catch some, and work travel had me passing his direction, so we got to go out and explore a little bit, and had a fun morning of creek fishing. We had a mixed catch, caught some Coosa bass, which is another bass that I need for the Georgia Bass Slam, but they weren't big enough to qualify. Also caught some caught a smaller smallmouth bass, and also some rock bass, some bluegill, some red breast sunfish, just a mix of things, wading the creek, fishing with ultralight lures. Just a really fun morning. The smallmouth that I caught, we had just finished basically finished fishing, and we're wading back across the creek. I had didn't have the camera on because we were just crossing the creek, wading across a shoal, and of course we couldn't resist, either of us, making a couple of casts into the run below the shoal as we were walking across, and I hooked up with a fish that looked like it might be a qualifying bass, and was able to land it. And it was kind of an interesting fish because it's actually a hybrid, and when we looked at it, we were trying to determine in different light, so it looks a lot more like a smallmouth when you look at it on the measuring board. When you look at in different light, it looks more like a spotted bass, and it did have a tongue patch, the tooth patch on the tongue that's characteristic of the spotted bass or the Alabama bass. So I didn't know whether it would qualify. It was long enough, and obviously had some smallmouth bass in it. I sent it in to the biologist, showed them the pictures, and they said that it appears it's really kind of a mutt that has some Alabama bass and spotted bass, but it also has a good amount of smallmouth bass in it that's recognizable in those photos. And they said that it was enough to qualify for the Bass Slam. So I was able to notch that, and I was excited about that. And I wished I'd been filming when I let the fish go. I turned on the camera and showed it one more time, and talked a little bit about the fish, and then released the fish. When I went to turn the camera off, I realized that it was still off. I had done something wrong, some kind of operator error. So we don't have any video of the catch, but I was excited to add one more species. That's species number 6 for my Georgia Bass Slam.